Hey everybody, welcome the Canoe to the UK shores. This is the Canoe LDV 130. There's also a 190, and the 130 and the 190 dictates how big this vehicle is. But more importantly, I have just had my very first drive. They told me it would be different. I didn't know how different. Today we're going to get under the skin of this very good looking vehicle, and we are going to spend time taking the specifications from America and understanding what they are in English. We'll know how practical it is, how far it can go, and everything that you need to know to make a good decision about the Canoe for your fleet. So we're going to go over how Canoe plan to come to market with this vehicle. It's not just about the vehicle, it's about the tech and the proposition that comes with the vehicle. Now there are some elements of this vehicle that today we wouldn't want here in the UK. But Canoe have already spoken about how they will configure each vehicle to meet the business use case that you have. So you might ask, is the vehicle fit for purpose? Tell them your purpose and they'll make it fit. This is going to be a highly configurable vehicle, and they are going to be looking to meet your particular need. So getting really under the skin and maximizing your efficiency and your revenue from the operation that you're going to take from this vehicle. So the key to the Canoe's simplicity, and that is one of their watchwords, is this MPP1 platform, which places all the batteries at the center of the vehicle, nice and low down. They then put on what they term the top hat, and it is shaped according to the need of the customer. Not entirely, obviously, we've got a limitation to that, but whether it's this sharper angle with a smaller load space, or whether it's a more square load space of the 190. So the configurability that Canoe bring to market is why that they're now considering the UK market. The deal with the US Postal Service was contingent on moving the steering wheel from the left-hand side, which of course we say the wrong side, to the right side. And because this vehicle is steer-by-wire, drive-by-wire, even brake-by-wire, everything was really simple. And this by-wire concept means that less parts, less things to go wrong, and less downtime. And so this right-hand drive vehicle has a package area, a load space area, which is more straight off and gives you that extra space. Probably the better parcel delivery service, and one we in the UK are much more accustomed to. So as you know, I like to talk practicality, because if the vehicle's not fit for purpose, it's not fit for anything. And there is no better place than the back of the van to talk about the practicalities. The door opens really nice and easily, and although there are no straps to keep this in place, it is very, very solid. The hinge seems to hold it on tight. And round to the other different angles, and every angle that you want to keep the door at, it feels very fixed. Nice and easy to find the button to open the side door on this, which you can have at 90 degrees or again around the corner at 270. You can bring this vehicle right up to your loading bay, get in and out very easily with a forklift truck or anything like that. Inside, the configuration is very personal. So let's have a look. So once inside this vehicle, the configurability continues. Every use case has been thought of, but one of the things that I already noticed and liked about this vehicle was that the interior is not the exterior. Now, as a standard panel van in the UK, we've got those in-out dents that we have to put ply lining in. Well, not here, because there is a thermal kind of casing inside that helps manage the temperature inside the vehicle. The stamped aluminium that is the external is not the internal wall either. So that makes for a really nice, simple and practical way. But whatever your need is, whether it's an engineer with parts and different bits and pieces, or sliding bays that can come out and you can work from, or equipment that you need to have lodged in the back, or just goods that you've got to deliver. Whatever you need, inside here, it can work. The other important thing to note is that the current payload of this vehicle is around 16 or 1800 pounds, translates to around 800 kilos. Now, as we've talked before, a ton is the market here in the UK, and Canoe reassure me that that is perfectly possible. The load space area, for those of you that love a cube, is around 4.8 cubic meters. So whether it's cubic meters, whether it's weight, or whether it's just configurable practicality that you need, the Canoe seemed to have all these boxes ticked.
So, I know what you're all thinking. What about the electric credentials? How big is the battery? How far will it go? And how quickly will it charge? Well, the Canoe has an 80 kilowatt hour battery, carrying it some 217 miles under the EPA legislation common in America. But of course, we're used to WLTP, and they would reckon probably in the region of 240 to 250 miles. But then we would say in the real world we'll probably get, well, maybe 217 miles. So the Americans might not drive on the right side of the road, but they've certainly got some things right. Finally, you can get up to 11 kilowatt AC charging, which will get you to full from zero in just over 7 hours, and 150 kilowatt DC charging, which will get you from 20 to 80% in around 32 minutes, adding over 100 miles, as long as you have the right charger. So, for me, and for most, electric credentials, tick.
So before we head out for a drive in this vehicle, it's worth noting, because you may have seen these vehicles at shows and you'll have seen this door, and this of course will not work for us here in the UK. And of course, we've fed that back, and they will be moving to a sliding door for the UK market. Now, as much as I would love to be going out for a drive in this right-hand drive, because of the configurability, the passenger seat has been gone. And my lovely cameraman, we don't want him wobbling around all over the place, so we're going to give him a real seat and we're going to drive US style. So access is gained to the vehicle by this Tesla-esque card. And it does beg the question, once you're sitting here, could this be the Tesla of vans? The all-electric revolution hitting the van market? It certainly has that feel to it. As you get in, it's nice and simple. There is a lot of space here. You can see the ground right there in front of you, which from a vision perspective seems great. The glass is a little bit low, possibly for some people. And also there's a lot of space there, so where am I going to throw my newspaper, put my sandwiches? But the mentality, the philosophy of configurability has already answered those questions. There's a great head-up display telling you what gear you're in and all of that good stuff. A screen here and a very simple steering wheel that's not a wheel. And whilst it takes a little bit of getting used to, it will become a really simple function and very, very effective. Standard stalk gear stick with nothing else to worry about. A little bit of digital dashboard there, giving you quality air control and all of those kinds of things. Heated seats. I love a bum warmer, and that is always gonna tick a box for me. But it's different. Let's see how it is to drive. So the first thing you notice almost with every electric vehicle is that they're quiet. Very, very quiet. And this vehicle is no exception. But I would argue actually quite a lot quieter than the vehicles that I'm used to driving. Minimal wind noise currently, although I'm only doing 30 miles an hour. But this is a very smooth drive. It's taken me a little while to get used to the steering, because the steering is more sensitive, because there's much less turning required to make the maneuvers that you have to make. I'm struck by the simplicity of everything around me. A nice screen here, but the speed limit, or the speed is posted directly in front of me. And it feels very stable on the road. So wow probably doesn't tell you very much, but it's hard to put into words that once you're used to this vehicle, it is really quite a lot of fun. Now, vans shouldn't be fun, definitely not, because we need it to be safe in the hands of our drivers. But the one thing that I've learned from driving around the Millbrook circuit, the hill circuit for those of you that have ever driven it, is that this vehicle is planted on the road, very maneuverable. It handles the kinks and the tilts that are all built into these tracks to test these vehicles without any drama. There are a few hills and things that you go over where this window that is at the front of the vehicle is brilliant. And it sort of tells me that, you know, getting into tight areas and getting into sort of warehouses and parking up, you know, will minimize all those bumper kind of dents that we get from judging with the bumper. We don't need to do that anymore. I get that some people want to remove it or do something different, but the guys at Canoe are totally cool with that. This vehicle is simple to drive. The movement of the steering wheel from lock to lock, it's like a go-kart in that respect. Obviously, you don't drive it like a go-kart. I kind of feel a little bit gushy, and I don't really do that when I'm driving a van. It's just driving. But this is easier. It's smoother. It's a nice environment to be in. And especially if it's configured to suit the job of the driver, this is going to make for a really simple, positive towards well-being space to be in. And that's a place that more and more is on the agenda of many of our companies, especially those that have got maybe hundreds, maybe thousands of drivers. We want to be productive. We want to keep our workers healthy and fit and doing a job. This is going to do all of that. I love the simplicity of it. I love the drive of it. I really like the look of it. It's got to be practical. It's got to do a job for you, and with the right weight, with the right space and the configurations inside, this is going to make a difference to many fleets in the UK. How disappointing. My time with these vehicles is coming to an end. That's what's disappointing. Whether it's the 190 in right-hand drive, and of course we love that, or even if it's the 130 in the left-hand drive, and of course that will be right-hand drive for the UK. These are great vehicles. This is probably, for me, the more practical UK market-esque version. But hey, we all know of products that are doing very well that are this sort of shape and size with a really unique face. Specification is all fine. The steering wheel, it's got controls on it. It's got simple to use. The gear stick is fine. You don't have to do anything to get in or start it. The card and the proximity allows you to just kind of work with it. And there's an app that comes with these vehicles as well. There is so much that has already been thought of. But if you've got a different use case, and if you've got something that you need to incorporate into the vehicle that you need, that's where Canoe become a TEM rather than an OEM, a technology equipment manufacturer. They will build around your use case, around what you need to integrate into your business to make these vehicles not just something that help you with your business, but are an extension of your business. This is going to be a really interesting ride to see how these vehicles land in the UK and how we as a nation begin to work with the vision of Canoe and see how these vehicles perform in real life. It's going to be good. I leave you with the Canoe.